Hello, welcome to The Secret to Helping Your Child Calm Down and Dealing with Some Yuck Feelings. My name is Molly, and I'm a family support provider at Children's Resource Center in Bowling Green, Ohio. Today, we're going to just be talking about those big feelings that kiddos get when they're upset or frustrated or sad. And sometimes we think that those events are just small, we don't understand sometimes why they're having such these big feelings over something as small as not getting a candy bar, or maybe that you gave them the wrong shirt because that one's itchy or not the right color, or that the time is up on their electronics even though you've given them plenty of warnings. That can be really frustrating as the caregiver of small children um, to manage those big behaviors or the big feelings that come with those behaviors. This picture is really funny. It's this little guy. He said, the parent said, he wanted the yellow cup, so I gave him the yellow cup. Now his life is ruined. That was just something that resonated with me. I was a toddler teacher for a very long time, and it was something that I saw quite frequently is they would want something, you would get it for them, and then they would throw down and have a temper tantrum because it wasn't the exact right thing. And toddlers are unique and wonderful and such interesting little people who are just trying to figure out the world. And so sometimes they just don't always know exactly what it is that they want. But we're going to talk about how we can help when those feelings are overwhelming and help those kiddos kind of calm down. The strategies are all going to be things that you can use with children, even as small as an infant up to a school age child. The first step is really being able to co regulate with that child. You want to be able to come in the situation as calm as you can. This means that you might have to take some deep breath. You might have to do some positive affirmations and be like, I can handle this. I am able to stay calm. I can help this child calm down. Whatever it is that really helps you to kind of work through a challenging situation, go ahead and put those in place. Because what I mean by co-regulation is that children are co-regulators, meaning that they will match at the minimum. They're going to match the adult that they're interacting with. So for a child that is angry and throwing a temper tantrum, and throwing themselves on the ground, super upset. We as the adult, if we're coming in and we're a little irritated or we're frustrated, and so we're right here in the middle, if we're trying to tell that child to calm down, you want them to come all the way down here, they're not going to be able to. What needs to happen is you need to come down at that calm spot first, and you're going to coach them and help them to get to that spot as well. If you're right here, that's the lowest they're going to get. They're going to be right there with you. That's if you're lucky, at minimum you're going to get them there. If you as an adult are told to calm down, like just get over it, calm down, usually your reaction to that is, I'm not calming down. You're going to get upset as well. Children respond in very similar ways. This quote says, when little people are overwhelmed by big emotions, it's our job to share our calm, not join in their chaos. So that just is really identifying that we don't want to make that chaos even bigger by coming in with our own biggie feelings too. We need to come in with this calm and soothing, just feeling so that you can help that child feel that as well. Rhythm and repetition are also very soothing to a child. And this can also help with you as well. This can help you to kind of regulate your own emotions. Think of an infant that is crying and you go up and you pick them up. A lot of us, our natural instinct is to kind of rub their back or pat them on the bottom, and we kind of bounce or we rock back and forth, and we kind of do this shh, 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 shh sound, or, oh, I've got you, you're okay now. We kind of just do those types of things is because it really helps an infant to kind of regulate and calm down. So this is a technique that can also be used with older children as well. So maybe this toddler is throwing a fit and they're maybe not going to let you pick them up because they're arching their back and they're throwing on the ground, but you can be like, I'm right here. I'm here to help you. And you can ask them if you can rub their back or give them a hug, or maybe do something that is rhythm or repetition. This will help you to also stay calm because that's kind of our natural response of when that is happening. If you think of music, or you think of like inside the mother's womb, is that rhythm and that repetition is kind of our natural way to get our body to regulate itself. So if you can do that, that's really helpful to the child, and they can kind of match that. So take, for instance, if you have a child and you're taking really deep breaths in and let it out, if you're doing that frequently, that will help the child also. They'll start breathing with you. It's almost their natural body's response to kind of match your breathing, just like their feelings will often, at best, match yours at a calming state. So then the next step is helping your child to label that feeling. This is big in helping them be able to communicate in a healthy way. For instance, a child that is frustrated, instead of them throwing the toy that's making them frustrated, they can say, "I'm frustrated. This toy isn't working." Well, when you're the adult in that interaction, you can help them with that frustrated feeling because you know what that is. So you can say, "Oh, that's frustrating. What can I do to help you? What's not working?" And so when we know what that feeling is, we're able to help better. We help our kiddos all the time by saying, "Look at the red ball. Do you see the table? It's a rectangle." We give them vocabulary words all the time, starting from a really young age. That really helps with their brain development. One of the ways that we can help their emotional development is giving them emotional vocabulary. So saying words like, "Look at that little girl on the swing. She has a big smile on her face. I think she's feeling happy. What do you think?" Or, just pointing them out, or even telling them, "Oh, you see how my mouth is smiling like that? I'm happy right now too." When you're giving those words to kiddos, they're able to take those words and use them in their everyday life, and that will really help them. The big thing that we tell families all the time is, if you name it, you can tame it. If you name that feeling, you're able to get control over it. Feelings are important and good, and we all have them. We don't want them to be ignored. We want to be able to express them in a healthy way. So that means saying, "I'm sad that this didn't happen," or "I'm frustrated that this isn't working," and then trying to problem solve it. If we just push it down and we ignore it, they come out sideways, is what we say. Sideways meaning that they come out in a way that takes out everything with them. So that might mean that comes out sideways and I'm throwing a temper tantrum and I'm throwing my toys and I'm screaming at you, because my feelings are being ignored or pushed down. So first we have to name that feeling and help the child to name them. Again, you're going to do this even with really small infants. You can be changing their diapers and kind of coaching them with, like, "Oh, you feel uncomfortable? That diaper feels nasty, right? Let's take that off. We're going to get you all cleaned up so that you can feel better." Because maybe they're crying because their diaper doesn't feel good. So again, you're giving them those vocabulary words so that when they are 2 and 3 and 4, they can say, "I'm uncomfortable," or I am frustrated," or "I'm tired." I did throw in here about anger being a secondary emotion. The reason I put that in there is because oftentimes when somebody is angry, or even like, a child is angry, it's hard for us to help them with that anger feeling because it feels unnecessary, right? But anger is actually a secondary emotion, meaning that there's a feeling underneath it. And this goes for even adults as well. So, take for instance, disappointment. Sometimes when a child is really disappointed about something, maybe they didn't get the thing that they wanted, or they didn't go somewhere, or you didn't do something with them. They might get disappointed, but it might come out in an angry way. So, screaming, throwing a fit, throwing something, aggressive behaviors. Um, those types of those types of behaviors can be seen when they're angry. But if we address that as disappointment, and we understand that is a sign of them that they're disappointed because this didn't happen, we might change our response to it. Our response to their behaviors might be different if we recognize that it's disappointment. For instance, if I tell my daughter we're going to go for a walk after dinner and it starts to rain, and I tell her we can't go, it's raining, and then she gets really angry about it and starts yelling at me and getting really upset, I could get also upset and be like, you need to calm down, this is not okay. Or I can recognize that maybe she's feeling disappointed because she wanted that one-on-one time with me, taking a walk. And so if I say, I understand being disappointed, I'm disappointed too that it's raining, what could we maybe do instead of going on a walk that's one-on-one? What were you looking forward to the most about taking a walk? And we can kind of problem solve that if I understand that's what that emotion feels like. And that's going to be showing her empathy, which is really that next step. Oops, skipped ahead. Empathy is just that understanding of what that feeling is. When somebody is empathetic towards you, you are more trusting of them and they can help you better with that emotion. So, for instance, if I'm talking to a friend and I'm telling them all about my horrible day and they just blow me off as, oh, it's not that big of a deal, you need to, forget about it or calm down, I'm not going to be comfortable talking to them again about that feeling. And I'm not going to have that person as somebody I can go to help me process that feeling. Children are a lot of the same things. Is if they don't feel comfortable going to you with that feeling, if you're blowing them off or ignoring that feeling, they're no longer going to bring that feeling to you in a healthy way. It's going to be even bigger, or they're not going to give it to you at all. They're going to give that feeling to somebody else, or they're going to push it down and it's going to come out sideways. So it's really us showing that empathy. Again, if we are empathetic to the feelings of disappointment and showing them like, I get it, that would be really disappointing, that can really help kids to kind of process how you were handling it. I was disappointed that it was raining too, because I was looking forward to that walk. I'm taking some deep breaths and staying calm and trying to find something else for us to do. And so you're modeling that behavior of how it looks. So being empathetic really can look like sitting near them and saying, I'm here for you. I'm trying to help you. Do you need a hug? Maybe you want me to rub your back. How can I help you feel better about what's happening? Also being empathetic that children's worlds are really small. So that means that for us, we have a lot of big things. We have bills to pay and laundry to do and people to call and appointments to keep and work and all these other things, and social media and big real life stuff, right? So our world is really big. We also have control over the things that we do. Most of us are able to pick what our meals are going to be and what our clothes are and where we're going at different times of the day. But small kiddos, they don't. A lot of their choices are made for them. This is what you're eating for lunch. This is the outfit you're wearing. You can drink this, and we're going to go see grandma on this day. Whatever those are, most of those choices are come down to the adult, and their world is really just encompassed of who's in the home with them, and the people they're interacting is really those. Sometimes it's childcare center or a babysitter or grandparents' house if that's something that's aiding you, but most of the time their world is very small. They have little control over things. So this might be difficult when they don't have control over the things that they thought they were. They really wanted that yellow cup and you gave them the green cup. And so that was the one thing they were able to control, and now they can't. And so now their world is upside down. The world has ended. It does seem like a big deal. If we remember that, you know, it might not seem like a big deal to us, but it is a big deal to them. It is obvious to them that it was a big deal. We can be more empathetic. That will allow us that space to allow them to have those feelings and to deal with and to process them in a healthy way. So one of the ways that they can do that is having a safe place. Some people call these a calm down corner, or peace place, a be by myself spot. There's all different kinds of names for them, but essentially it's just a place where a child can go to calm down. In that location, we'll have some choices to help prompt them. Why this helps is because when you're having a lot of big emotions, sometimes you forget what it is that does help you calm down. For instance, I know that deep breathing helps me when I need to calm down, but sometimes I forget. So if I have a visual reminder of take deep breaths or give myself positive affirmations, then I can do that in that moment. So Having visuals is helpful. Having items that are available that do comfort them, like fidgets, blankets, stuffed animals, even having like a little box of things that might help, that will really help those kids calm their bodies down. This is going to be unique to each child. Some children might do well with coloring, whereas others it might make them frustrated. So you're going to want to kind of make sure that those are things, again, like Play-Doh might be something that kiddos help them calm down, but that might not be something that you specifically want them to be doing in that area. So putting things in there that you are okay with them doing independently and help them to calm. Some visuals are helpful things like breathing techniques, yoga positions. This one is one that I really like for kiddos, is helping them to do the cupcake breathing strategy or a piece of cake strategy. They take a deep breath in through their nose to smell the birthday cake, whether it's strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. You can ask them and they'll tell you. And they breathe in through their nose and they count to 5, and then they breathe out through their mouth and they blow out those candles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they keep doing that until they're calm. That can really help. Each safe place, like I said, looks different. These all have different things like tents, beanbag chairs, blankets, gymnastics mat. It will be the things that you might have around the home already, and you're going to put this in a spot that is quiet. So it might not be right there in the middle of the living room where everybody is walking in and out or the TV's on or anything. It's going to be in a place that maybe is a little bit quieter, but also in a place where you can still see them. When kids have big emotions like that, sometimes they don't make the most safe decisions, whether with their own body or with others. So you want to be able to step in if possible. And we talked before about being empathetic is also being close by and offering that comfort when they allow it. So it shouldn't be in a completely off the radar spot, but close enough to the action, but not right into the action. This is not a place for timeouts. This is a place to regulate those emotions so they can kind of process them in a healthy way. Um, and having some calm down choices in the location will be helpful too. So, what are some things that they can do? Blow bubbles, um, play with play with slime, coloring, stickers, fidgets, yoga, breathing techniques, any of those things. Having those available in that area at any time is also helpful in them kind of regulating. Again, this is going to be something for a little bit of older children, but you can start this as early as helping toddlers with this as well. Um, After they're calm, you'll want to help them kind of talk about what their choices could have been. So, um, what could you have done when you were feeling disappointed? Could you maybe have asked for some other choices? Could you take some deep breathing things? Could we talk about it? What are some choices that you had in that moment? And you're going to help them process, because this is going to help them be able to relate what that feeling was and what their choices are. And once you have help them identify that, this is going to turn into them being able to do it beforehand, before that feeling comes out in a big sideways way and is chaos. This is helping them kind of do it early on. So take, for instance, if a child is really frustrated with a toy, and instead of throwing it like you know that he may have done before, he's saying, I'm frustrated, I'm going to take a break, because that's what how I did it the last time when I was feeling frustrated. We talked about our choices, and we decided that next time when I'm frustrated, I would just take a break and come back to it again. This is helping them. You're going to have to prompt them a lot in the beginning, especially when they're really little and they don't maybe have all the language or the ideas yet, because they're not going to know what those ideas are until you teach them it. So it's going to be really simple and age appropriate. So like a toddler might be saying, help please. For an older child, it might be putting it away and coming back to it later, or trying it in a new way. So it didn't work when I did it this way, so I'm going to try it the another way, and I'm going to keep trying until I can get it right. um, that is really going to help them through the whole process. So that's the last step, and we'll just kind of review those really quick. So step one is that co-regulation, making sure that you're as the adult are calm first. You're going to help them label that feeling. So telling them your face is going like this. It seems like maybe you're feeling this. And then you're going to be empathetic to that feeling, being understanding. You're not going to blow it off and pretend that it's not a big deal. Even if you don't think it's a big deal, you understand to them it is. And so you're going to show them that empathy. You're going to have that safe place for them that they can go to, that they feel comfortable and safe, and where they have that room to express those feelings in a healthy way. And then you're going to talk about their choices. So all of these steps together will help your child to calm down. This isn't going to work the first time or the second time. It will help those times, but when you do these over and over and it becomes a habit, it will work for that child. Habits are formed after 21 consistent times. So in order for you to see a difference in their behaviors and managing their emotions and helping them to calm down, you yourself have to follow these steps first in order to encourage them to be able to handle those emotions in a healthy way. So I hope that was helpful to you all. If you have any questions, or if you feel like there's some more information you would like, please email me. My email is here in this last slide. And I can reach out to you and send you any kind of resources or answer any questions. Here are some of the resources that I pulled from in order to do the slideshow and to kind of talk about the different strategies. And then there's a flyer here for our parent chat that has the different topics that we'll be discussing for the rest of the month. I hope that you enjoyed the information and that it helped you in some sort of way. Thank you so much and have a good day.